On the 3rd of October, I got to my bus stop, picked a bike, going to my house. When we got to a lonely area, the bike man stopped on the way. The next thing I knew was he pointed a gun at my head through the back. I turned and ran. He said I should remove my clothes. I refused. In the process, I hit off his gun. We started struggling. In the course of the struggle, he pushed me into the gutter and was trying to drown me as it was raining heavily. I struggled and struggled, trying to scream for upcoming vehicles, but nobody stopped to my aid. Next thing I knew was he raped me.
This is Lagos, Nigeria, home to over 17 million Nigerian citizens from all parts of the country struggling to make ends meet. Today, sexual and gender-based violence is recognized as one of the most serious crimes against women, girls, boys, and children in Nigeria. According to a 2012 British Council gender report, 1 out of 3 women and girls aged between 15 and 24 have experienced gender-based violence. In spite of the size of the problem, there are limited facilities to support victims, and the number of cases of sexual violence and rape that are prosecuted are few compared to the number of incidents. Since 2011, the Justice for All program has worked with local organizations to provide access to safety, security, and justice to victims of sexual and gender-based violence. A key outcome is the establishment of the first ever sexual assault referral centers, known as SARCs, in Nigeria. The J4A program funded the establishment of the Mirabel Center in Lagos, managed by the Partnership for Justice, and the Tama SARC in Enugu, managed by Women's Aid Collective. Between 2013 and 2015, both SARCs have assisted a total of 1,499 victims of sexual and gender-based violence. By August 2016, 5 additional SARCs will have been established in Kano, Kaduna, Jigawa, Akwa-Ibom, and Niger states.
The Mirabel Center is a sexual assault referral center, and what we do basically is to provide support services to survivors of rape and sexual violence. It's a place where a survivor comes in, feels safe, feels protected, feels confident to tell her story. A place where she's not judged, where she's not blamed for what had happened to her. We have trained forensic medical examiners. We have trained sexual assault trauma counselors who provide these services, and we provide these services free to our survivors.
The SARC is at the center of a network of cross-sector collaboration between the Nigerian Police Force, the Ministry of Health, the Ministry of Gender, the Ministry of Justice, and civil society organizations to give survivors access to the justice and support they deserve.
At Adenijajili, we're able to have a model family support unit, and we are hoping that eventually this model will be replicated in all the stations in Nigeria. Only police officers that are trained are allowed in the facility. The Mirabel Center can also come into the facility and work from there.
Forensic evidence collected by the SARC medical personnel is now being presented in court to support the prosecution of sexual offenses.
Basically, what we do is to provide a holistic response. Most times, the first point of call is the police. If we get a hold of the matter, the DSVRT is kicked in, and so we liaise with the relevant police stations to ensure that investigation takes place. The arrest is made, and then the matter is charged to the magistrate court to remand the defendant, because rape and defilement actually carries life imprisonment.
WG8 means Working Group of 8 on Violence Against Women, and it's a group of 8 gender-focused CSOs who came together to bring their different expertise to bear on the issues of violence against women in Lagos State. We want to be able to go into the markets, engage the women one-on-one. We're coming as a group, all members of WG8, and we're having a megaphone just talking about gender-based violence. What does it entail? What are the implications and what can be done?
We're using this opportunity to call on everybody to join this fight on violence against women and sexual violence, especially children. Let's break the silence on rape. Let's break the silence of keeping quiet, and we should look out for our neighbors, particularly our neighbors' children, because it could happen to anybody. And we want the government to also come in to assist, particularly NGOs who are trying to support this cause of domestic violence, sexual violence, and violence against women.
The J4A program has invested resources to train medical personnel and social workers of the SARCs in forensic medical examination and counseling support for survivors of sexual assault.
Everything we do here is for the interest of the client. That attitude and that approach has actually made the clients that walk into the center to give us all the information we need for us to help them in pursuing their cases. And then you don't blame, you don't shout on them, you don't ask them the why questions. And that is why when a lot of people walk in here and after receiving treatment, the person will be like, I never knew I could survive this.
Since I came to Tamasak, they made me feel comfortable. They never threw it to my face that this is what happened. It was discovered that I contracted some STD from the incidents. They gave me free treatments and other things. And I feel better.
To end sexual and gender-based violence in Nigeria, all hands must be on deck. The Justice for All program calls on the general public to be vigilant and report all cases of sexual and gender-based violence to the relevant agencies. State governments are encouraged to support the establishment of sexual assault referral centers in their states. The police, prosecutors, and courts should ensure the delivery of prompt, efficient justice for survivors of such horrific acts of violence.